Well, today I'm going to be changing the spark plugs on my Toyota Sienna 3 liter 2000. The first thing that I'm going to do is just to take off the negative terminal on the battery, just so we don't have any sparks flying. And then the next step is to take off the windshield wipers. I'm not a mechanic, but I do enjoy working on the car from time to time. And when it comes to something like spark plugs, I'm happy to give it a go. I know the problem with the Sienna is that the back spark plugs are really tough to get to. Once you've loosened these 13mm bolts, it just lifts up and you just remove the whole arm like that. The next thing you want to do is remove the rubber weatherproofing strip. There's little gadgets like that that keeps it intact, and the easiest way to remove it is just get a pair of needle nose pliers underneath, just squeeze a little bit and pull from the top and it just comes right off. Next thing you want to do is take off the plastic part of the cowling, and this is going to lift up and you got to pull down just to loosen it up there, and it comes right out. As you take this off, just remember to undo your window washer water there, and just clean out. You can see all the junk I have in here, some leaves and debris and stuff, so just make sure you get all that cleaned out. The next thing you want to do is take off the cowling. And to do that, you have these 3 bolts here. They're all 10 mils. And then you have bolts on the top, different spaces, and they're all 10 mils. And then don't forget, you have these 2 down here going to a bracket. That's also 10 mil. So remove all of those and remove the cowling. Okay, so it turns out you didn't have to remove these 2 over here. This bracket is going to stay on the cowl because it keeps the wiper motor on there. But you are going to have to remove just the wiring harness over there, and then underneath, just right there, you see the wiring for the wiper motor. That just needs to be removed as well. So now the next thing I'm going to do, just to give myself some room, is to take out this box over here, and it's got 3, 1, 2, and 3 10mm nuts over there that you just got to loosen. And once I remove that, I'll have some more room to get back there where the rear spark plugs are situated. So once you've got that box removed, now you can easily find your rear spark plugs. Just if you don't know where to look, just trace these wires. You'll see them go around, and you'll see that's the one right there on the passenger side. And just follow the wire to the next one and the third one, and then you have all 3 of them right there, ready to be removed. The way to do that is just to pull out the boot. It just plugs right in. There's nothing to unscrew. It doesn't look like the front. These are the ones on the front. It doesn't look like that at all. It's just an old school boot. You just pull that off and the spark plug will be right there. Alright, so to locate the one on the driver's side, you just go straight down, and you'll see right there, you'll see the spark plug wire coming in, and that's the boot right there. So that's easy to reach from this side. So to remove those spark plugs, I'm going to use a 5/8 socket as well as a 6-inch extension, and I'm just going to tape the socket to the extension to make sure that we don't lose it as we go back there, and make sure that the socket doesn't stay behind on the spark plug itself. Now the way to get your socket in there is to reverse it in. Take in the extension, push that up against the firewall at the back, and come back down, and you drop it right in there, and you get that all done before you get your wrench out and insert that. Once you've got your wrench connected to the socket and the extension, then it's just a matter of loosening it and then take it out by hand after that. So one of the things you want to do as well when you put the new spark plugs in is to just dab it with a bit of anti-seize. Now you'll see some people don't ever want to use anti-seize and others do. You don't want to put on too much, but it's always good to put it on just to make sure that the day when it comes for you to remove it, it's going to be cooperative, it'll come out, and you won't have to struggle with a spark plug that's seized in. The other thing you want to do is put some dielectric grease on the boot cover, and I'll show you in a minute how to do that. You're going to thread your spark plug in by hand first. Just insert it in there. You drop it into the hole and make sure you've got it by hand. Don't cross thread. And only once it's all the way in by hand can you tighten it. If you want to torque it, I'm going to torque it at about 15 foot-pounds. You're going to have to look at your manuals for your car to see what foot-pounds that you need. So if you want to torque all those rear spark plugs, then the middle one is difficult to get your torque wrench onto. So what you want to do is just add another 6-inch extension at the back, and then you can get your torque wrench in and you can torque that to the right specification you want. Okay, now I'm going to just put on some dielectric grease, and many times I find folks don't know how to use this properly. They tend to put this on the electrical connector, but as you know, this doesn't conduct electricity, so this is not for that. This is, and just take a dab, and what you want to do is put this on the inside of the boot like so, and just a thin layer on the inside there, and that's going to help you take off the boot next time that you want to change the plugs. But not only that, it's also going to make sure that it doesn't arc to the body of the vehicle, and so it's going to protect your sparks from the spark plugs. So all round, good idea to use some dielectric grease, but just apply it correctly, put it in the right place, and not too much. Now that you're done with the back ones, it's time to go to the front. And what you're going to do is you're going to just take off the cover here and make it easier for you to get to the front ones. They are pretty much, you know, very straightforward. If you've done spark plugs before, then I don't think you'll have any problem with the front ones. It just clips on the back, put that aside, and then it gives you access to these. Now what you want to do here is you want to take off these first, and then after that you want to undo these bolts over here. These are 10 bolts. So once you've removed that, this just lifts up, comes right out, and you can pop in your socket and remove the spark plug. So once you've got that spark plug in and it goes in, now you just want to go until you hear that click, which will tell you, there you go, there you go. Now you know you've got the right torque and your spark plug is well seated. as you start putting things back, you're going to have to reach down and get your nut down there again. And I just want to show you something cool that's helped me a lot, and that is to use a piece of paper or tissue paper as you are. Just pop that into your socket and you put your nut in like that, and it'll stick. And when you reach down there to thread it on, it's not going to fall off, and then you have to try and search for it and to spend another few minutes in frustration. But it'll just go straight on, and the paper will come off once the socket comes off. So enjoy your Sienna and drive safely.